So, students, till now we have read till occupation. Today we are going to start further. More to know. It is only for reading children. This will not be assessed for your exams. The dancing girl of Mohenjo-daro is displayed in the National Museum, New Delhi. It is a bronze statue, 10.5 centimeter in height. The dancing pose, the tilted head, the droopy eyes, the plaited hair, bangled hands, and lots of jewelry make the dancing girl a unique artifact. So, everything you can see it very nicely that her head is tilted, her eyes are droopy, she has made plaits of her hair. On her hands there are bangles and she's wearing lot of jewelry. Now starting with the next part, agriculture. Agriculture is the main occupation of the people. A toy model of a plow has been found. It suggests that people use plows to farm their lands. Farmers produce sufficient food to meet the needs of all. Cattle rearing was also practiced. They domesticated cattle, buffaloes, sheep, and goats. These animals were perhaps used for milk and meat. So, the main occupation was agriculture. And how did we come to know that? Because a clay model of a plow has been found, and it is further said that the farmers had sufficient food to meet the needs of all, that everyone's hunger was satisfied. So there was sufficient food. Cattle rearing was also, so they reared cattle also, and they domesticated animals such as buffaloes, sheep, and goats for their milk as well as for their flesh. Metalwork. The bronzesmiths made figurines, tools, and weapons. The figure of the dancing girl shows their mastery in bronze casting. The goldsmiths made jewelry of gold, silver, and precious stones. So, when we look at the dancing girl, we could find out that they were so much skilled in bronze casting. They have shown each and every aspect of the dancing girl, starting from her head, her eyes, her hair, bangles, and the jewelry she is wearing. So it is further said that the bronzesmiths, they made figurines of tools, and weapons. And there were goldsmiths also who made jewelry of gold, silver, and of precious stones. Even nowadays also we have the same things. Bead making. Bead making was an important occupation. Beads made of gold, silver, copper, semi-precious stones, and shells have been found at numerous Indus sites. Spinning and weaving were common occupations. So, during that time, beads making was an important occupation, and beads were made of gold, silver, copper, and of stones also, as well as of shells. And how did we come to know about it? Because these all were found on various Indus sites while excavations. And spinning and weaving were common occupations. We have already read about it. Pottery making. Pottery making had reached an advanced stage. Beautiful reddish glazed pottery with geometrical designs, animal figures, and tree and leaf motifs have been discovered from nearly all the sites. So, pottery making was also one of the occupation which the people they followed. And beautiful reddish glazed pottery with geometrical designs were made on it. Geometrical designs. animal figures were there, and tree and leaf motifs. Motifs are the decorative design or a pattern of a leaf or a tree. So they have been discovered from nearly all the Indus sites. Brick laying. Huge brick structures indicate that bricklaying was an important occupation. The numerous buildings discovered indicate that masonry must also have been a popular occupation. So, huge brick structures indicate that bricklaying was an important occupation, and people used to bake the bricks. And the numerous buildings discovered indicate that masonry मिस्त्री का काम जो करते हैं, so must also have been a popular occupation. Next is transport. Many terracotta models of bullock carts have been found in Harappa. This has led historians to believe that bullock carts were a popular means of transport. Ships and boats were the other means of transport. So, while excavations, various terracotta models of bullock carts have been found in Harappa, and there were various means of transport that were ships and boats. So this all they came to know while they were able to dig certain places. So they found all these models. Trade. People exported surplus goods and brought in goods that were in short supply. So they exported what was more with them, what was surplus, and they bought those things which were in less quantity. While gold was obtained from South India, metals like copper, tin and silver were brought from Mesopotamia, Persia, or Persia is modern Iran, Oman and Afghanistan. So these metals like gold, it was obtained from South India. Other metal like copper and silver, they were brought from Mesopotamia, Persia, Oman and Afghanistan. Trading links with Mesopotamia have been proven by the discovery of Mesopotamian seals in the Indus sites and those of Indus in the cities of ancient Mesopotamia. So how do we come to know that they had trade, they had a business relationship with one another? Because the Mesopotamian seals have been found in Indus cities and Indus seals have been found in Mesopotamian. So the trade was perhaps conducted from the dockyard at Lothal, that we have already read. All trade may have taken place through barter system. Barter is exchange. Through exchange of grains for buying something better, or they had some other product, they used to give that thing and then they used to get back the food grains. Weights and measures played an important role in trade. So weights and measures, so because they could only give something by weighing it, they cannot just give it like that, and even by measuring the things. So they played an important role in trade. Children, please underline these two lines. Marked sticks have been found. They must have been used to measure objects. So there were sticks also found while excavations. So the historians believe that they must have been used to measure certain objects. So children, we'll continue with the next part next time. Thank you. God bless you.